When you think of brilliant people, who springs to mind? Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, Brian Cox? Yes, same year. So let me ask you this. When you think of people who call themselves brilliant, who springs to mind now?
The brilliant Expattaffy.
Yes, it's the internet's second favourite Welshman. I'm the favourite, obviously. And yes, I am just as surprised as you to find out that this clown is still alive, kicking, and continuing to make some of the most delusional content I have ever come across. And that says a lot considering some of the people I make videos about. But it would seem that old Willy boy here is making a comeback, and this time he's claiming, again, that we did not land on the moon in 1969 and that every photo taken on that mission was faked using Photoshop, a software that wasn't even in existence in 1969. So let's have a gander, shall we? Please subscribe.
Yes, that's what I said, the brilliant.
We know we heard you the first time. You know what they say about people who call themselves brilliant? Oh no, I don't know. I was hoping one of you did. It can't be good though, can it? I mean, who the hell goes around calling themselves brilliant?
Yes, that's what I said, the brilliant.
I myself draw the line at funny, good-looking and handsome. Oh, did I say funny? And what about good-looking? Please stop calling yourself brilliant. It's proper cringy, mate, and makes me feel a sense of relief that you no longer live in Wales. What? What, man? Stop staring at me like that. You're freaking me out.
And if you watch my latest video, where I just proved that the Titanic never sank, proof that it swapped with the Olympic, and it was the Olympic that was sent to the bottom of the sea, deliberate, and 1,500 people were murdered.
Yeah, of course it was. And who better than a pensioner who calls himself brilliant to prove it? And I've got to ask, what's with the really long pauses between words? Well, I've googled it, and apparently it's when you have fluency disorder, which means that you have trouble speaking in a fluid or flowing way. You may say the whole word or parts of the word more than once. Pause awkwardly between your words. Yes, like that. Right, Taff, never mind the Titanic. We are here to talk about Apollo 11, so can we just get on with it? I'll edit out the pauses, done. Worry.
What this video is about here now, as you can see, Apollo. Were the photos taken on the moon?
Now, are we talking about Apollo 11 or Apollo Creed? Because there is a bit of a difference, although I am fairly certain that none of the Rocky films were filmed on the moon. So it's probably Apollo 11, isn't it? Anyway, now that we've cleared that up, we need to keep the electricity on. So today's video is sponsored by...
Fabulous.
No, I'm not sponsoring my own video, although I get why you thought that. There are other things out there that are even more fabulous than me. Now, for anyone that's been around the channel for a while, you will have noticed that I'm not the most organised person in the world, especially when it comes to making significant changes to my daily routine. But since I started using Fabulous, and I do use it, I've somehow managed to actually stick to the changes I've made. Imagine that. Well, it's been pretty simple thanks to the Fabulous app. It's a digital coach, a happiness trainer that uses insights from behavioural science to develop great habits that will enable you to live the life that you want. And with 30 million plus users around the world, Fabulous makes it easy for anyone to develop and stick to healthy habits thanks to science-backed daily routines. And as a result, you will feel healthier, more fulfilled, and more productive. You learn to create rituals, morning, afternoon, night, that propel you towards your goals and participate in challenges that will build motivation and awareness along the way. Starting when you first wake up, for example. Every single morning, without fail so far, I wake up at 5 a.m, pour myself a big glass of water, straight out of the studio, where I spend an hour responding to comments and answering emails. I've tried other ways of doing this, but they just didn't work for me. Fabulous also has dedicated programs called Journeys, which is a behavior change program specifically designed to help you achieve your well-being goals. And honestly, for someone like me who works from home and spends around 12 hours a day locked in this room, I needed all the help I could get. And with Fabulous Premium, you can build and improve an unlimited number of habits in your routines. Take part in all the programs and exercises. So, start building your ideal daily routine. The first 100 people that click the link below will get 25% off Fabulous Premium. Right, back to the video.
Now, I'm going into this year because I'm supporting another YouTuber who used to believe they went to the moon, but after he's seen so much evidence of fakery in the photos, he changed his mind.
Really? And was this evidence in any of your videos by chance? Or is there somebody else who is as equally brilliant and thinks we didn't land on the moon?
His ID now is Curiosity Todd. And what we've got is some of NASA's idiotic, stupid shills attacking his video. So this video here is in support of his video.
Curiosity Todd? Now I think he means Conspiracy Todd. I can't think of any other Todds that don't believe we landed on the moon, but I will correct that later if we need to. Take a look at his channel if you dare. It's basically a non-Welsh version of Expattaffy one, so it probably isn't worth the effort.
What he has done is shown a photo where he claims the shadow is fake. Okay folks, here is the photo displayed by Curiosity Todd in his video. The number of this photo is AS12-46-6785 and it's HR. And what Curiosity Todd stated in this is he thinks it's fake because the shadow of the astronaut is not genuine.
AS12-46-6785. Right, okay. Better download that one then and see for myself. And try and brighten it myself as well. Well, would you look at that when I import the same high-resolution picture downloaded from NASA's official website? The shadow does brighten up with the rest of the image. Wonder what will happen when Taff does it though.
He thinks it's airbrushed in, which I have confirmed it is.
Right, just a second. So if we completely ignore the fact that Photoshop didn't exist in 1969 just for now, you're telling us that this digital image, which is what you called it, well, to be more specific, you called it a high-resolution digital image, has been airbrushed. You do realise that an airbrush is a small air-operated tool that atomizes and sprays various media, most often paint, but also ink and dye, and that your claim is that this digital image has had a shadow airbrushed onto it. Okay, go on.
Okay, folks. Now, this photo here, I'll give you the link to Curious Droid's video.
Whose video? What, he's Curious Droid now, not Curious Todd or even Conspiracy Todd. One moment, please. Oh, come on, Taff, you forgot the link. That's so unprofessional and not something you would ever catch me forgetting to do. The only thing I could do, which would be even more stupid than forgetting to include a link I said I was going to include, would be to get a question wrong on a live stream. You know, the one when Simon Dan asked me who the first creator was to ever host an episode of Tinfoil Tuesday while he was on holiday. The answer was me, and I got it wrong. But anyway, we're going to have to stick with Conspiracy Todd. I'm fairly sure that's who he means.
And you can see how he analyzes the shadows. Let me say, I've got a different method.
Well, yes, I'm sure you have, and I used to analyse the shadows as well. And you just love Hank Marvin. What a guitar player.
My method had always been, try to brighten up the photo and see if the shadow brightens up.
But I've already done that, Taff, and the shadow did brighten up as we would expect. But when you say you're going to use the same method you always use, is it going to be you? No, I don't want to spoil it for the viewers. Sorry. I want to interrupt again in my video where I offer commentary. I mean, who wants to see that? We all know how tricky it is to just watch the original video if you don't want my commentary over it. I'm not joking, honestly. I get comments from people asking me to stop interrupting the people I make videos about.
And what I can tell you about shadows is...
They were Cliff Richard's band in the 50s and 60s.
1. Most of the cases, they will not brighten up at all.
No. Sorry everyone, that's never happened before. Taff has set off my bullshit alarm. Now I think we've already established that they do brighten up, Taff, so unless of course you're calling me a liar. Taff, do you know what a rhetorical question is? Well, that was one, so don't bother responding. I'm joking, respond as often as you like. I love responding to responses. It's kind of my thing.
2. Some will brighten up when a whistleblower wants you to brighten it up.
Ooh, right, so now they will brighten up, but only if they want them to. Yeah, because that's how this works, isn't it?
And see that it's fake.
1, 2, C.
Because you've added in clues. Another time is they will brighten up to green.
Meh, green schmeen. Nobody cares, Taff. And I'm not sure how things work over there, but here in Wales, your homeland, if we want to keep something a secret, we just don't tell anyone. And we certainly don't leave random clues floating around. But I, for one, cannot wait to hear what you think those other clues are. Is it just more of you seeing what you want to see? Now, I don't want to be mean or anything. You're about my dad's age, and I know that retirement can get boring based on seeing my father every day. But Taff, couldn't you have done what most old Welsh pensioners do and just take up crown green bowls or something?
Now, there's no way a black shadow should brighten up to green.
Yeah, I completely agree, unless, of course, it's the Incredible Hulk shadow. Didn't think of that, did you? I bet that's green, but I digress. They don't, in the same way as they don't stay black when you brighten up the image, unless... I just had an idea. Now, I've done this very quickly, but this is the only way I can think of that these goons can achieve the shadow not getting lighter when they lighten the whole image. By being dishonest. And I know that may come as a total shock, a conspiracy theorist being dishonest. Who'd have thunk it? But I can't see how else they're doing it, because if you do use the actual image from NASA, the shadow brightens up with the rest of the image as you'd expect it to.
And I'll give you an example of that now. Now, another thing about that photo is the photo of the person taking the shadow of the photo taken by the person taking the photo.
What now? You okay there, Taff? Come on, use your words. The shadow of...
the shadow of the photo taken by the person taking the photo.
The shadow of the photo taken by the person taking the photo, I think.
Because of one special point. It's supposed to be the shadow of an astronaut with a camera taking a photo.
Well, that's lucky, because that's exactly what it looks like. Very handy.
Now, what you'll find is these astronauts are supposed to have an aerial. And many of the photos you see, the astronaut being photographed, where the situation is quite alright, it will show his shadow on the ground, and it will show a shadow from his aerial. Now, this photographer's shadow, it's supposed to be an astronaut with a suit on, so he's supposed to have an aerial, but not one case throughout the whole of Apollo will these photographers' shadow display a shadow of an aerial on the ground.
Apart from this one, you mean? And it literally took me 2 minutes to find. And I definitely didn't make Brian Pop Robson go through all the images to find it for me. That would be very lazy. Oh, and on the topic of Brian Pop Robson Taff, he's actually coming to Thailand in 3 weeks, and he's asked me to ask you if you'd like to meet up with him and discuss the Apollo 11 pictures face to face. Let me know if you want to do that, Taff, and I'll put Brian and you in touch. Now, for those of you who don't know, the aerials on the astronaut spacesuits were little fold-up jobbies, sort of like a metal tape measure. Have you ever used a metal tape measure, Taff? You know, the ones where you can pull it out and they'll sort of stand up a little bit on their own. Well, the aerials were a bit like that. I wonder why Taff didn't use this picture instead. Very strange.
He states, there is no shadow that will brighten up to green. Let me show you his comment. Okay, folks, let's take a look at this Jan Strzelecki's comment here. Expattaffy, my point is there is not one genuine shadow that brightens up to green, dude.
Holy shit, that frightened the crap out of me. Bloody laugh. I couldn't resist. Anyway, where were we?
What an idiot.
Hey, that's a bit uncalled for.
He's quite right. There is not one genuine shadow that brightens up to green. But there is fake shadows that brighten up to green, you stupid idiot, as I'm going to show you.
No, there aren't. I think I demonstrated that earlier in the video. Shadows brighten up with the image, unless, of course, sad, lonely old men manipulate the images themselves to fit in with what they want to believe.
Well, folks, did you hear that? Did you see that? What do you make of that?
What? The comment or the completely black screen? Yeah, we saw those. What did you mean to show us? 2 minutes ago, you were talking about green shadows. Did you forget something?
He states there is not one genuine photo that brightens up to green. He's quite right, because they're all bloody fake.
But you didn't show us otherwise. And they aren't fake, Taff. They just don't fit with what you want them to be. But anyway, Apollo 11 is a little outdated. I, for one, would like to see your thoughts on Artemis 1, Taff. Let me guess, fake as well? Now, we were expecting the flat Earth clowns to go berserk over the Artemis 1 mission because, you know, globe. But I want to know what Wales' foremost and most brilliant moon landing specialist has got to say about the whole situation. We already have pictures coming back from Artemis 1. Are they fake as well, Taff?
A genuine photo won't brighten up from black to green, as you're going to see.
But to be fair, you did say, did you see that immediately after talking about it, so I'm sure you understand my confusion. Come on, Taff, let's see it then.
Okay, folks. Look at this shadow here. I combined two photos here, two shadows. One on the left is an Apollo one, and the one on the right is me in my garden, posing exactly the same.
Ah, you could have cut your grass before putting your garden out there for all to see on the internet. Have you no shame, man?
Now, there are two big differences in this shadow.
I can see that, yes. One was taken on the moon and the other one was taken in your garden. You don't need to over-explain this, we get it, mate. Just get to the good stuff. I demand a green shadow.
Look at the one on the left, and look at the length of the gap between his legs up until his dick.
What the hell, Taff? Stop! This is a family-friendly channel. There was no need for that, was there? I hope you're not going to make the claim that yours is huge and fills the tiny thigh gap. Nobody likes a show off.
Look at it. That's what they're showing there. But look at mine in the garden. My gap is right down. My gap is a lot shorter.
So's your knob, probably. Are you really this stupid? How the hell can you even consider the possibility that this is a reasonable comparison to be making, you clown? The angle the light is hitting you, position of the sun in the sky, where you were on Earth. There are tons of different variables for this.
Now, look what I've done here, folks. That photo I just shown you, I've brightened it up one full setting.
O to the M to the G. Skills. Look at the shadow in his picture. This dishonest little turd has done what I did earlier. I'm sure he has. He's cut the shadow out and laid it over the original image so that when he brightens the image in the background up, the only thing getting brighter is that, and the shadow stays exactly the same, making it appear as if it won't brighten up. Creaky one. Expattaffy nil. Nil, sorry.
And look at the difference. Mine on the right has brightened up and you can clearly see objects under the shadow. The one on the left, it hasn't brightened up one iota. Now, take a look at these combined photos here now. Third stage, I've brightened it up another full setting again. And look at my shadow on the right. It's really brightened up.
I can't take any more of this. Taff, you should have feathered the edge of the shadow layer, then it would have looked a little bit more realistic.
There's your first step of proving these shadows are fake and black airbrushed in.
Yeah, I agree this picture is fake. But in my humble opinion, it's been faked by you. And quite poorly, if you don't mind me saying.
There you are, folks. What do you think of that?
Well, seeing as you've asked, I think you just made yourself look like a complete moron. And like I said, I know retired people quite often fill their time with hobbies, but trying to convince people that we didn't land on the moon is your idea of a good hobby. Anything else to add, Taff?
Now, like I keep telling these idiots, I'm so brilliant I can prove every single photo in Apollo is fake.
Yeah, sure you are, pal. Thanks to Fabulous for sponsoring today's video. I'm off for a lay down. I can feel my will to live leaving my body the more of this clown's video I watch. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you all next time. Love you, bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.